and how to know if you're not wasting your time? Well, today we are going to be talking about how to make sure you're not wasting your time creating content, creating a plan that maximizes your efforts right after this. I'm back. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about in this whole season of Vlogmas on how to make sure that you're not wasting your time when you're creating your content. There's a question that I've had a lot of times from folks, clients over the years, and it comes down to knowing if what they're doing is the right thing to do when they're creating content. And quite frankly, that answer is, and it all depends. And let me tell you what it depends on. For one, if you're making content that you are not supporting, you're going to have problems because content that's not supported, content that you don't actually look after, you don't maintain, you don't manage, you don't sustain, it is going to be a waste of time. And this is why, because your content is actually something that does not take on a life of its own until you make a life for your content. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that when you create content, you are developing let's call it a portal. And that portal is designed to do a specific thing. And so, whether the content is designed to bring more customers your way, more clients, if it's designed to increase credibility, if your content is designed in order to make a splash in your marketplace, whatever it is that you've designed that content to do, that content has to be supported. It has to be marketed. It has to be pushed into your marketplace in a way so that it gets right in front of the correct eyes and ears that you're looking for. Now, if you set the content up, but you don't send it out, it's not going to do that. Let me tell you why. When we're working on these different platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever you name it, they have a specific reason for being in business, and that reason is to make money. Let me see if I can check out these comments real quick. Okay, and that is to make money. Now, in order for them to make money, you've got to be able to get them relevant eyes and ears. And the relevant eyes and ears, they don't hand to you on the silver platter. Those have to be earned. So either A, you're going to pay for play, or you're going to do the legwork and be ultra relevant, delivering massive value to your marketplace so that your marketplace takes up the call of duty, no pun intended, and begins to push your content out deeper into your marketplace. What does that look like? Well, it looks like this. If your content is so relevant, it's so good, and it hits people in the way that they need to be hit, and they say, you know what? I know Susie Q needs this content. She was running into this very challenge that this content created a solution for. So now Johnny B sends it to Susie Q. Susie Q says, wow, Johnny, that is great. That information is exactly what I was looking for. And a matter of fact, I know a few other folks that have been running into this same problem because I asked them, hoping that they had a solution to my problem. So Susie Q sends it out to another 2 or 3 folks inside of her business or her industry that were running into the same challenges. Well, now a snowball effect starts to happen. Susie Q shared it, the folks that she shared it to shared it, the folks that they shared it to shared it, and so on and so on and so on. Well, that comes down to who made the first share. Because the first share probably was not the platform that you put it on. It had to be either somebody else, or it had to be you. So, in order to make sure that you don't waste your time when you're creating content, you've got to make sure that once you create the content, you never create the content without a plan of what you're going to do with that content. So, the content map goes like this. You start out with an audience, and that audience is looking for something. You start to check into what that audience is looking for. And whether you're polling the audience, you're asking questions, you're just watching what the audience is normally talking about, and you start to fashion your content to hit specific needs inside of that audience. Now, once you have crafted the perfect piece of content, you've got your components where that information is being shared out, and they're like, you know what, this is great information. You've got those components together. I'm going to create this content. I'm going to share it into this community, to these people, to folks looking for this answer. And then I'm going to make sure that I get that content in front of, give yourself a number, whether it's 138 people a day, a week, a month, whatever that is, or if it's 1,000 people. You determine what that number is, and then you watch those numbers. I've got the numbers out. Now, out of every 100 people that I shared it with, this is the amount of people who responded, who engaged with it. This is where your metrics come in. Now, you know, out of every 100, I got 3 responses. So I either A, have to find a marketplace where I can get more responses because it's more laser targeted, because I know that these people are looking for this specific answer or set of answers, or I need to increase traffic because I've got a 3% conversion. So out of every 100, I get 3 people. I want to get 30 people, so that means I have to have 1,000 people that I get that content in front of. I want to have 300 people, that's 10,000 people I have to get that content in front of. You see, so now my plan is starting to flesh out. It's a numbers game at this point. I know that out of every 100, I get 3%. Now, hopefully, you're getting more than 3% out of every 100 because you have laser targeted your audience. You know who they are. You know what they're looking for. You have polled them. You have figured out what they are consistently talking about. Now, once you do that, you go and you create the content or you curate the content. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which one, because what you're looking for is a way to help your marketplace out. So curate or create or do a combination of the two. And then the plan that you create to maximize your effort is, once I put it out there, how am I going to make sure that it continues to move forward? How am I going to make sure that it continues to refresh, that it continues to repurpose, so that it gets in front of more relevant eyes and ears? Whatever that looks like, you've got to put that together. Is it going to be a set of tools? Is it going to be a set of people? Is it going to be a combination? Is it going to be certain social media platforms? Is it going to be automation? What does that look like inside of your plan? Once you have a plan established, then you track the results of that plan, and then you tweak along the way. If you do that, I guarantee that your content creation will not be a waste of time, because you're going into it with a plan. You're going into it creating a process. You're going into it with an expected outcome. And if you don't get the outcome, you know you've got to go back to the drawing board, tweak it, and then go at it again. If you're getting the results that you're looking for, that you anticipated, then you know your model is working. So then you need to scale it. You need to double down, triple down, quadruple down, do more of what is working, and then start to test and track more methods and then measure them against each other. If your one set of measurements was, I'm going to do a series of social media posts, I'm going to do tweets, I'm going to do LinkedIn, I'm going to do Facebook, I'm going to do Pinterest, whatever it is, whatever that one thing is, you're measuring the results on that one thing. So, how do you measure the results? You got to make sure that you have a way to track it, whether it be retargeting pixels, whether it be certain types of tracking links, redirect links. You have a way that every time that your link is clicked, your site is visited, whatever it is that you're tracking, there is a way that is, or a platform that is counting for you. You got this many clicks, and now out of this many clicks, how many sales did you make? How many signups to your list did you get? What was the next result that happened after the click took place? If it's 18 clicks and no engagement, if it's 100 clicks and no engagement, you know that you are not converting at the right rate. You need to do something different. You're talking to the wrong crowd. You're saying the wrong thing. You're showing up in a way that is not resonating with your crowd. If, however, you're getting a good sense, a good return on your investment of time and energy, meaning that your engagement numbers are high, then you look to see how can you make it higher? How can you tweak that to get a higher return on investment? If you've got 20 clicks out of your 100 or 20 conversions out of your 100, how can you get it to 30? If you have 30, how can you get it to 40? If you have 40, how can you get it to 50, and so on and so forth? How do you continue to up level to make sure that what you're getting is a high return on your investment? If you track, tweak, double down, make sure that you have your numbers engaged, you will not be wasting your time in creating the right content. If you have any questions, I want you to go ahead and plug them in and make sure that you tag me in the comments section. And that way I can look back and see what it is that you're looking for. And then maybe I can create some content that can answer those questions or those comments. All right. On that note, I am the Jason Hodge. This is my Vlogmas 2020. I'll catch you later.